Tonight, federal agents say two men are now in custody after a suspected fentanyl distribution operation was uncovered in Forest Park. Investigators say the operation was run out of an Airbnb that a federal task force raided late last week. Agents showed reporters what they say is 21 kilos of fentanyl recovered from inside the rental home. They also displayed $380,000 in cash they say was seized, along with another $3,000 found on a man who tried to run. Officials say the arrests are part of a larger federal push to track down the sources behind the region's drug pipeline.
These drugs like fentanyl, heroin, cocaine, they poison our community, but they have second-order effects and spillover effects like addiction, like overdose, like violent crime in our community.
The suspects are Rico, Deville, Bryce, and David Esteban Montio Diaz. Both are expected to go before a federal grand jury for formal charges.
When the federal task force comes knocking, it's not for a social visit. What's up, everyone, and welcome back to the channel. A major drug pipeline has just been cut in Georgia, leading to a massive seizure and 2 arrests. But this isn't just another crime story, because one of the men facing life in federal prison is Rico Deville Bryce, also known as FBG Casino, the half-brother of superstar rapper Future. Today, we're breaking down the 3 key points you need to know about this bust, the stunning facts of the case, the devastating family dynamic, and the simple math that proves this fast money wasn't worth it. Let's get straight into the facts. According to federal complaints, a Homeland Security Task Force raided an Airbnb in Forest Park, Georgia. As they moved in, 41-year-old Rico Deville Bryce allegedly bolted out a side door and attempted to flee. He was quickly apprehended with $4,000 in cash on him, but what they found inside the rental home was staggering. Officials seized an estimated 21 kilograms of fentanyl, amount capable of causing mass casualties. They also confiscated over $380,000 in cash, a money counter, a food sealer machine, and a Glock 19 pistol. The U.S. attorney stated this seizure undoubtedly saved thousands of lives. This wasn't a small-time operation. This was a significant distribution hub, and the feds have now completely dismantled it.
I will work across borders, outside the United States, across districts, across the state of Georgia, in order to bring these individuals to justice. And when necessary, we'll extradite those individuals from the countries that they're operating in and bring them to Georgia to prosecute them here so they face justice. And I have one example I'd like to give of some early success of these Homeland Security Task Forces. On August 26th, I stood in a parking lot at about 4:30 in the morning, surrounded by many people here, as a takedown of a cartel organization was happening in Athens. I had several hundred law enforcement officers very early prepared to go out and execute search warrants in order to bring individuals to justice. These drugs that this organization was responsible for pushing, like cocaine and fentanyl, they were operating across boundaries, just like I talked about, and ultimately 17 individuals were charged, 26 kilograms of cocaine were seized, fentanyl, 26 firearms, 12 assault rifles, and even a grenade launcher was seized in Georgia from this organization. And it was great to witness the bravery and professionalism of agents and law enforcement officers bringing these individuals to justice. And I'll give you one more specific example. When one SWAT team went to make a safe arrest of one individual, on his phone, he messaged his source of supply in Mexico and said, "Turn the truck around," right as the SWAT team went in. Turn the truck around. That's the message to the cartel. Turn the trucks around. Your business is not welcome here. And if you continue to poison our communities, you will face justice like that example. We'll bring you in, you'll be prosecuted, and all of us will work together to make sure that we achieve justice. Thank you.
Now, this is where it gets complicated. Rico Bryce is Future's half-brother, and you have to ask the question, when your brother is one of the most successful rappers on the planet, a man worth tens of millions, what are you doing in a rental home with 21 kilos of poison? This speaks to a brutal truth about entitlement versus building your own legacy. Future built an empire from the ground up. He could have offered a job, sure, but the real tragedy is the lack of initiative to build something legitimate. Instead of learning production, marketing, or how to manage wealth, this was the path chosen. And now, at 41 years old, he's facing a mandatory minimum of 10 years and possibly life in a federal prison. That's a family tragedy that no amount of fame can fix. Let's talk numbers, because the money they seized seems impressive until you do the simple math. They had $380,000. Let's be generous and say it took them 5 years to make that. That's $76,000 a year. Not bad, right? But break that down weekly, that's about $1,461 per week. Now, you can make that working 2 legitimate jobs. You can make that driving for Uber and doing freelance work. But here's the difference. When you earn it legally, you don't have to look over your shoulder. You don't have a task force ready to kick in your door. You get to be free. That $1,400 a week cost them their entire freedom. The math simply does not add up. So the lesson here is clear. The pursuit of fast money and shortcuts, especially when legitimate paths are available, is a losing game. It destroys families, ends futures, and as the Fed said, it poisons our communities. This is bigger than one rapper's brother. It's about the choices we all make. So I want to hear from you. What's the #1 life lesson you think people ignore when chasing fast money? Let me know in the comments below. If this breakdown gave you some perspective, hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you don't miss our next analysis. Stay safe, stay legal, and I'll catch you in the next one.